Now, the Mini 3 Pro has been out now for about 6 months, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about my experience traveling with this drone. So I've been flying this drone everywhere I've gone so far, and it's actually a good travel drone. And is the RC combo worth the $900 you have to pay for it? So let's start at the beginning. When you're looking at a travel drone, you want it to be small, lightweight, have a good camera, and be able to keep up with the environments you're traveling to. By that I mean temperature and wind. You would also want your drone to be easy to set up and use, and preferably be under 250 grams to prevent requesting coordinates for your different flights, which is actually something that some countries require you to do when flying a drone above 250 grams. Now there's 4 drones in this category: the Mini SE, the Mini 2, and the Mini 3 Pro, all weighing under 250 grams. But this combo that I'm having right here in particular stands out and checks all the boxes if you're aware of the few issues which I will come to later. Now with the Mini 3 Pro and the RC controller, you're up and running in about 20 to 30 seconds. And I found the screen of the RC controller to be really good in bright days at 700 nits, and it's really easy to use and connects really easily, so you don't have to use your phone. For me, this is a huge advantage, and it allows me to take some nice footage of the drone itself without risking losing the connection going in and out of the camera app when it's connected to the controller. Not everyone might see this as a small benefit though, but for me it really makes things easier. The combo right here is also very light, so it's easy to take with you and fits perfectly in any bags. Most of the time I've been using my one-go backpack because it's so comfortable to use. This can fit all the gear I need, and it also looks pretty damn good. I've also been using the bag from the Fly Market, both for the Air 2S and the Mini 3 Pro. Let's say if you're in the city or you're going to places where it's less convenient to bring a backpack, I've found these shoulder bags to be my best pick. It's really good quality, and it adds just enough space for the Mini 3 Pro and the RC controller and a few accessories. But it holds out pretty well, and going to hot places, you would really like to have something like this with you as well, if you only need to bring your drone and the RC controller and just a few accessories. Because it's being so warm, your back will probably end up dripping away from being all sweaty, so a small lightweight shoulder bag like this comes to really good use. But I still prefer a backpack for most of my trips, as it can hold more, like water, food, accessories which you might want to bring with you in hot places. But the Mini 3 Pro and the RC controller being so lightweight, it takes away a lot of the weight for, let's say, bringing the Air 2S or the Mavic 3, which all has a significant more weight to it. The backpack I'm using is the one-go 25 liter from PGY Tech, and I've been using this every day for over 7 months now, and it's the first time I've actually changed my backpack in 5 years. So that says a lot. 5 years with the same backpack, and I finally changed it to the more comfortable backpack from PGY Tech. It's actually so good that I made a travel video of it, which I will leave down in the description below just in case you want to check that out and get my honest review and opinion about this backpack. Now, setting up and connecting the Mini 3 takes about 30 seconds, which is pretty good, and it starts pushing GPS signals really fast if you're in open locations. So if you're planning on doing forest hikes or take off where there might be some more interferences, I recommend pushing the drone about 30 meters up right after it has connected to get a boost in signal. This makes the GPS lock come faster, and you save time and battery life, and you can start recording your videos much faster. It also has avoidance sensors to calculate the route to avoid any crashes and return to home, so it will automatically come home if you lose the signal or if the battery gets low. So it's a really good drone for any beginners. Now let's talk about the noise coming from these drones. Noise has always been a big issue with drones when it comes to traveling. Even if you're a complete beginner or if you're a professional drone pilot, the sound coming from these drones, especially the bigger drones like the Mavic 3 or the Mavic 2 Pro brings a lot of attention, and most drone pilots don't want the attention when flying their drone going about their business. And if you're a new pilot, that might actually prevent you from taking off from certain locations because the drone is so loud. And going to attractions, which is the typical place you would take a drone like this, you're going to be surrounded by people, and believe me, 50% of those people is going to be annoyed when you are flying your drone. But this drone, it's like it has a silencer. It's super quiet and you can barely hear it a few meters up. It's the most silent drone I've ever flown, and it's one of the reasons that I love this drone so much. And that means you're going to be able to fly your drone in these popular areas without bringing any attention. And once it's up in the air, people aren't going to be able to hear it. So a massive advantage to the Mini 3 Pro compared to the other bigger DJI drones, which sounds really loud in comparison. Now, this tiny little camera here on this drone is really impressive. It shoots in 10-bit descene-like color profile, which is a flat color profile that allows you to get more dynamic range and be more flexible with color grading. So I really love this camera on this drone, and the photos coming from this is also really good, and I'm really impressed with. It can shoot 48 megapixel RAW and JPEG photos of high quality in both vertical and horizontal aspect. Now, you also got all the features you need in this drone with tracking, hyperlapse, 4K up to 60 FPS, vertical and horizontal shooting mode, quick shots, and more. Now, I've been mainly using the 4K 30 FPS with this drone, which allows me to slow down the speed in post to make the shots even smoother while still keeping that crispy cinematic look. Now, I've also been using the active track a lot to take away all the hassle when filming myself, and it's perfect for tracking something like cars, bikes, or boats when you're sitting there and you can have the drone follow you. So it's really awesome to have all these features in such a small, lightweight drone, and it makes getting the shots much easier for any drone pilots, beginner or pro. Now, battery life is crucial for any drone, despite being a DJI drone or any other device for that matter. You want to have as much battery life as possible. So how is the battery life on this drone after 6 months? Well, it's pretty good actually. I'm getting about 24 minutes on average flight time in normal conditions, and by that I mean moderate winds and temperatures and no unexpected changes. Now, depending on how your flying style is, you might end up getting less or more. It really depends on how high or low you fly and where you fly. So in windy conditions, you will get a lot less because the motors of the Mini 3 Pro will run faster to try to keep the drone level, which will also drain your battery faster. Now, you can also get the Plus batteries, which will give you up to 40 minutes of flight time, give or take, but these will also bring your drone above the 250 gram limit. So that's something you need to consider before buying them. But in Europe, these batteries are not available, so if they are available in your country, that's good, but you should definitely get your hands on some extra batteries, regardless of being the Plus batteries or the normal batteries. Now, there's not going to be enough with just 1 or 2 batteries. You'll end up waiting for your battery to be fully charged, and it's going to annoy you every single time. So the Fly More kit that I have here is really good, and it comes with a charging hub and 2 extra batteries, as well as a shoulder bag, which is the Fly More kit. So 3 batteries will keep you going for a while, and you will always have a charged batteries to change to, so you don't miss the shots. So I really recommend that you have at least 3 batteries if you get the Mini 3 Pro. Now, what's really awesome is that you can charge the batteries anywhere you go because it charges through USB-C. So you can plug this into your car charger if you are on the go, or you can bring it with you, charge it using a power bank or anything like that. And you know, it's really lightweight and nice as well. So a really must have for any anyone owning the Mini 3 Pro. And it also allows you to charge different devices like a power bank using the USB type A port here, so you can charge your batteries and your phone at the same time. And if you have some spare batteries left or some spare power left in your batteries once you're done flying, you can also charge your different devices like your camera, your phone, or anything like that. So it really comes in handy to have this charging hub. So with all the good things said, what could possibly prevent you from buying this drone? Now, it depends on your needs. The Mini 3 Pro is an overall amazing drone for me and the best drone I've owned for traveling so far. But there is a few parts that plays a role in whether this is going to be a perfect travel drone for you or not. But there's also some ways that you can prevent these from happening. So the first one is going to be your destination. Where will you be taking a drone like this? And taking this to Hawaii on an island far out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I knew from experience that it would be very, very windy and gusts that could potentially kill any drone. You see, even with the level 5 wind resistance that the Mini 3 has, it's such a small and lightweight drone, so a massive gust would flip this with no problem. But in most cases, that won't happen. The only thing you might end up seeing is some footage which looks like it's been shot on a really, really cheap gimbal. So if we take a look at the clip here, you can see the drone going up and down, trying to stay level in position, but the gusts being pushed up from the ridge keeps messing with the small size and weight of the drone. So traveling to destinations like this with a lot of wind, and if this is the main reason you're getting a drone, the Mini 3 Pro might not be the drone for you. So as an example here, I push it over the ridge and the gimbal gets twisted because of the gusts, and this is the worst case scenario. So if these are your main destinations, like I said, the Mini 3 Pro might not be the drone for you. But if you're going to use this drone to capture your family vacations or going to different attractions or to the city or any other place where there is no significant wind, this is the perfect drone for you. And you will have a much better experience with the Mini 3 Pro. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I don't want anything to happen to your drone. If you're a beginner, the worst thing ever is to lose or damage your drone on the first or second flight. From my experience though, taking this on many trips, I haven't really had any issues with wind, and this also comes down to experience. The more experience and research you do about the location you're traveling to, the better experience you'll have. Also, getting a wind app or browse for wind levels at the spot you want to fly wouldn't hurt either, and will prevent you from having wind issues, or at least launch the drone if it's extremely windy and you are unsure of whether it's going to withstand the wind or not. So knowing how to operate a drone in windy conditions, this is going to be the drone for you. I've been taking this around places where the wind is hitting so hard, and it's the perfect drone to take on hikes, whether the hikes are low or high. Just take a look at these clips. So at the end, it all comes down to where you're traveling to and how much research you do as well. Now, one thing that keeps bothering me is not related to the drone itself, but rather the RC controller. Because of the sticks being on the top and the way I fly and put my hands on the controller, I keep on touching the screen with the inside of my thumb, and it's so annoying. When I'm doing this, I keep getting into the settings tab during a flight, and it messes up the shot every single time. This is something I experienced on the first flight with this drone in Hawaii, and it has been as annoying ever since. But it's not actually a big flaw for this controller, it's just how I hold and use it. But if you happen to experience some of the same issues as I do, there is an easy and quick fix to solve this problem. And that is to get some third-party adjustable sticks which will make your life easier. I can't wait to test mine out, which will be arriving soon, and test how convenient it is to have the sticks being adjustable. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's not a flaw, but it's a tiny problem for me because I keep on hitting the stick. No, I keep on hitting the screen and it's so annoying. It's annoying. Yeah. Now, one of the things I noticed when flying this drone in hot places like Hawaii was lens fog, which ruined a few of my shots, and it's quite annoying but also an easy fix. Now, flying this in hot places, the lens have no additional protection from the sun or water particles that will be in the air if you're flying above water and in places with a lot of humidity. So to protect the lens and prevent lens fog and get a better looking image, you need some ND filters. The lens is an f1.7, so it's not going to be as good in bright conditions unless you add some ND filters. So without the ND filters, a lot of light will come in through the lens and your shot will look quite overexposed, and you will risk having a shutter speed of up to a massive 8,000 shooting in auto mode, or when adjusting for a properly exposed image in manual mode, which will make your image look way too sharp and unnatural and also way too contrasty. So an ND filter is really needed. When I first took this drone to Hawaii, I didn't have any ND filters to help me balance my exposure, so I ended up having a hard time correcting the image to make it look better. I ended up putting as much time into correcting the image as I was shooting them, which is not ideal for anyone wanting to shoot some nice travel content with their brand new drone. Now, the filters I'm using now is the ND filters from Freewell. This video is not sponsored by Freewell, but I just happen to love and use their filters all the time. And I find these also to be really good, and the way these works is that it prevents more light from coming into the lens and it helps balancing your exposure and shutter speed. So ideally you want to have the shutter speed at a double of your frame rate. So if you're shooting in 30 FPS, you would want to have your shutter speed at 1/60 and the ISO as low as possible to prevent some additional grain in your footage. So putting on some ND filters, which basically works as sunglasses for your drone, you will actually be able to get closer to the number you want and you'll be having a much better image. There's a link to the filters that I'm using down in the description below. I will also leave a video on how to use them and how to find the correct ND filter. This is for the DJI Avata, but it's the same way, just a different drone. So I'll be leaving that video down in the description below if you want to check it out as well. So overall, the Mini 3 Pro has been my favorite travel drone and is my go-to drone for any planned trips coming up. With its small size and being so lightweight in combination with the RC controller, it checks all the boxes for what I need in a travel drone. And with my brand new signature LUTs, which was developed in combination with the DC-Light color profile coming from the Mini 3 Pro, any shots that I capture turns out amazing. I'll leave a link down to that in the description below if you want to check it out and save 25% off for the next 4 days. Now, there is the backdrop of high winds, and if you mainly travel to destinations you experience that, you should consider whether this is going to be an issue for you or not. But doing some research of the location you're traveling to, you'll find the answers you're looking for. But from my experience though, using this in gusty areas, I can't see why you shouldn't get this drone. It's overall a perfect travel companion, but you will need to have some ND filters to be able to capture some amazing footage during the day. I'm really happy with all the features they put into this, and I love using the active track. Also, the brightness of the RC controller, you know, it's really outstanding. It's extremely easy to see during the day, and it doesn't dim down like my iPhone does. When I used it like in 20 degrees Celsius for 1 minute, it dims down and I can't see anything on the screen. So that's a huge advantage to the controller and why I think you should have this RC controller in combination with the Mini 3 Pro. So let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions related to this drone. Also, which places have you been taking your Mini 3 so far and where's your next stop? So with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I really appreciate that you took the time to stop by. Check out my signature LUTs down in the description below, and until next time, take care and I will see you in the next video.